श्री रघुनंदन जानकी जीवन,
श्री रघुनंदन जानकी जीवन,
श्री रघुनंदन राम अलख निरंजन असुर निखंडना राजीव लोचन भव भय भंजना राम साई श्री रघुनंदन जानकी जीवन
मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी फिर भी न दिखे सूरत तेरी फिर भी न दिखे सूरत तेरी जुग बीते नाई मिलन की जुग बीते नाई मिलन की दर्शन दो घनश्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा मथुरा नाथ दीन दयाळा मथुरा नाथ दीन दयाळा मथुरा नाथ दीन दयाळा मथुरा नाथ दीन दयाळा भक्तिपुरी घनश्याम श्यामा भक्तिपुरी घनश्याम श्यामा भक्तिपुरी घनश्याम श्यामा भक्तिपुरी घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम श्यामा राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला राधे गोविंदा राधे गोपाला श्यामा परति गोरी घनश्याम श्यामा दर्शन दो घनश्याम।
भीड़ पार करो मेरे साई, भीड़ पार करो मेरे साई, उद्धार करो मेरे बाबा, शिरडी के साए परती के 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 बाबा। तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा। शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेम प्रदाता। ईश्वरांबनंदन जगत परिपाला, ईश्वरांबनंदन जगत परिपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला, हे पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला। शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। तुम हो हमारे प्यारे साईं बाबा, प्यारे साईं बाबा। शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा, शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा। प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता, प्रेममया साईं प्रेम प्रदाता। ईश्वरांबनंदन जगत परिपाला, ईश्वरांबनंदन जगत परिपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला, पाप विनाशक परम कृपाला। शिरडी के साईं परती के बाबा।
मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना, मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना, मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना, मैथिलीपते रघुनन्दना। रामा राघवा राजीवलोचना, रामा
जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। हरे राम 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 घन श्याम श्याम 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 श्याम। श्री रघुनंदन श्री रामा, दाशरथे जय रघुरामा। 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 हे नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। हे नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। हे नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। हरे राम 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 घन श्याम श्याम श्याम। 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 जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम। श्री रघुनंदन श्री रामा, दाशरथे जय रघुरामा। श्री रघुनंदन श्री रामा, दाशरथे जय रघुरामा। हे नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। नंद किशोरा नवनीत चोरा, वृंदावन गोविंद लाला। हरे राम 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 घन श्याम श्याम श्याम। हरे राम 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 घन श्याम श्याम श्याम। जय हरि बोल जय सीताराम, गोपी गोपाल भजो राधे श्याम।
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering our collective pranams at the lotus feet of Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Sai Ram and very good evening to all of you. One of the defining characteristics of our Gurukulam is that every activity is viewed as an opportunity for character building, and sports are no exceptions. Sadguru often reminds us that the true purpose of sport is not merely to win, but to cultivate discipline, teamwork, resilience, and joy. Drawing inspiration from the exemplary bond shared by Lord Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, he has beautifully explained that they played not for personal victory, but for the spirit of the game, rejoicing in one another's success. Similarly, we have sporting and cultural competitions underway in this very spirit of sportsmanship that is nurtured in every student of the Gurukulam, where healthy competition is complemented by mutual respect, encouragement, and the celebration of collective achievement. This evening, the Sai Krishan Cricket Stadium came alive with this vibrant spirit as Sadguru graciously visited and blessed the sporting events. The first segment featured exciting basketball matches, beginning with a match between the boys' students of the university, followed by a match among the various palakas and staff. The enthusiasm continued in the second segment with the volleyball matches, where the girls of the University for Human Excellence displayed remarkable teamwork and determination, followed by the boys' matches from the university. This showcase concluded with an engaging volleyball match featuring the palakas and staff. Each game reflected not only skill and perseverance, but also the values of unity, camaraderie, and true sportsmanship that lie at the heart of Gurukulam tradition. May we now request Dr. B.N. Narasimhamurthy sir to address all of us this evening.
With pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Swami, brothers and sisters, very dear students, boys and girls. As said by Sriniket, it is games time in Sathya Sai Grama. Games time in all Sai institutions has always been God's time. Swami, this evening, like a father who goes to watch and enjoy his children's games, he watched the basketball games and then went to watch the volleyball games. Why I say it is God's time is, this is how the volleyball match between the two girls' teams started. Love all, serve all, we see God in all. So that is how the announcement was made. Tennis or volleyball, or even badminton, they start with love all. But in Sai institutions, love all, serve all, we love God in all. Can we say, all of us students can say that once? Love. We love God in all. The standard of the basketball match between the two boys' teams was of very high standard. Our congratulations to the players and also their trainers and coaches. The volleyball games were badly affected by wind conditions. That's why their best did not come out. But during the basketball match, there was a small incident which went mostly unnoticed. While the match was going on, in very, very briskly, because they were equal teams, the score was almost 20 all. One of the players slipped and fell down. Because everybody's focus was on the ball, all the players, including his own teammates, went away. They followed the ball. They chased the ball. But one player from the opposite team, he stopped, gave his hand to the boy who had fallen, the opposite team, and helped him get up. This is what is true sportsmanship is. Apart from winning and losing, practicing this kind of sportsmanship is very important in athletics or games. I remembered a very famous and interesting incident that happened in 2016 during the Olympics competitions in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Hundreds of gold medals were won, silver medals were won, bronze medals were won. But two athletes, one from New Zealand, one from USA, became very famous, though they did not win any medals. It was very widely reported in all newspapers and sports magazines, and they were rewarded very, very handsomely. And it was the 5,000 meters women's race. There were totally 32 contestants, and all the 32 cannot run together. Therefore, they conduct heats. I mean, our boys and girls would know that. In running races, in batches of 8, it is called one heats. Out of 8, they will select 2. Next 8, they select 2. Finally, there will be 8 athletes who will run in the finals. This incident that I am referring to happened in one of the heats. New Zealand runner, athlete, Nikki Hamblin, and USA athlete, Abe Di Agostino. These were the famous athletes. What happened at a turning point when they were running, because they were running for their country, so much of expectation. And naturally, their focus would be on winning. But it so happened, while turning at a corner, these two athletes collided and both fell down. The USA athlete, Agostino, she got up quickly, but she did not run because Hamblin from New Zealand was struggling to get up. She helped her to get up and both started running, but they were naturally lost. But the story does not end there. As God willed it, it was now USA athlete Agostino's turn to fall down because of a ligament tear. Hamblin could have really reached the finishing line, but she stopped, helped her. She was in pain. This Agostino was in pain. She held her hand, goaded her to reach the finish line. Both reached last, but they were selected for the finals. See, this is what is real sportsmanship. See, that is what our boys and girls will have to learn from such great athletes and sportsmen. Similarly, G.R. Vishwanath, he is not here. Evening he was there with Swami to watch the matches. Though he is not here, I will take this occasion to thank him for the time he is spending in the Cricket Academy. All of you know that Cricket Academy is named after G.R. Vishwanath and Gavaskar. And every month, religiously he comes here at least for 3 to 4 days and spends time with small kids. Mrs. J.R. Vishwanath, I see here, Kavita is here. I am sure that you are going to tell him what I said. We have to really, his humility and his love for the kids, love for the game. See, that is what Sunil Gavaskar said in his message yesterday, that Gavaskar is not one of the finest batsmen India has seen, but one of the finest batsmen the world has seen, and one of the greatest of sportsmen. Because his gesture is also very, very famous. What he did, boys and girls would love to listen to it. I want to tell you this. In 1980, there was a Golden Jubilee cricket match between India and England, and G.R. Vishwanath led Indian team. There were great players like Kapil Dev, Syed Kirmani, the World Cup winning team was there. Later on, they won the World Cup in 1983. This was 1980. It was a test match. And it so happened, India were all out for 242 in the first innings. And the English batsmen followed. And they were 85 for 6. 85 for 6. And Bob Taylor was batting, captain of English team and the wicket keeper. He was batting. And just then, Ian Botham also had joined at that end. He was on 0. Ian Botham was on 0. Bob Taylor was on 15 or 16 runs. And Kapil Dev was bowling. And he bowled a fast in-swinger. And the batsman tried to play. And immediately after the wicketkeeper caught the ball, Syed Kirmani, both Kapil Dev and Syed Kirmani went up, appealing that it was a caught behind. Umpire ruled him out. And G.R. Vishwanath was standing in the second slip. He knew that he had not nicked. There was no touch between the bat and the ball. Immediately, Bob Taylor was frustrated and he was going out. He stopped him. Asked him a question. Did you snick? No, there was no snick. He told the umpire and asked Bob Taylor to come back and bat again. See, that is real sportsmanship. Not just follow the rules of the game. As pointed out by Sriniket, it is the spirit of the game which is important. But what happened later? For 7th wicket, there was a big partnership between Ian Botham and Bob Taylor. And Ian Botham scored a blistering century. There was 171-run partnership. And they took 54-run lead. They were all out for 296. And because of the first innings lead, India lost the match. But Indian captain G.R. Vishwanath won the hearts of all sports people in the world. That's what happened. So therefore, it is sportsmanship which is very, very important. That's what Baba appreciated. That's what Sadguru also appreciates. Here also, there is no student speaker. With Swami's permission, I will take 5 more minutes. I want to tell you a very, very interesting incident. What is the most important part of the sports and cultural meet? This happened in 1993 in Puttaparthi. And Baba was like a child. Anything new you bring. It goes to the credit of Vrindavan that Vrindavan introduced horse riding, motorcycles, daredevilry, aero sports. All these were introduced in Puttaparthi by the Vrindavan boys. And Baba was always so fascinated by these new things. And it so happened that paragliders in 1993, I'm mentioning, 2 boys were getting trained in Bangalore, Jakkur Airport. First time, our boys were flying in the sky. I still remember 2 boys were there. One I remember now, Vivek Pahwa, and today he is a colonel in the army. Other boy's name I have forgotten. And they were flying in Jakkur. We were taking a lot of photographs when boys were in the air and sending to Baba. And it seems Baba was so fascinated with these photos. And he took these photos outside and showed to all the VIPs in the veranda, see, my boys are flying. And there was so much of excitement in Prashanthi Nilayam. We were supposed to reach there on Sunday morning. I was sure that Sunday morning itself, Baba would come to watch these paramotors in the airport. we had a problem. These boys were flying well in Jaipur airport, but when you go to Puttaparthi, it is different wind conditions. This paramotor is a wind creature. Most of the aerosports are wind creatures. So we wanted these boys to go there one day before and practice. And we had told Captain Oberoi, who was the manager of the airport, we are coming on Sunday. These boys with a teacher went there on Saturday. Captain Oberoi was there. They sought his permission. No, your warden said that you are all coming on Sunday. No, sir, we want to practice. Okay, you practice. But he was so excited, went to Mandir and told Baba, Swami, the paramotors have come to airport. Swami immediately rushed to airport. And these boys had not practiced. And Baba came and these boys were really in a daze. They would be any day happy, but they had not practiced in Puttaparthi. So when one of the boys tried to take off, this Vivek Paha only, and he badly fell down. Because paramotors, many of you would be knowing, you run against the wind and you take off after the wind fills the parasails. And fell down, and Swami was so disappointed, and I had a phone call from Puttaparthi. What is this? You said they're flying, they are not able to fly. No, tomorrow I am coming, we are all coming, and we request Swami to come to airport next day. And next day, Swami promptly came when we reached there. And he was slightly feeling hesitant, how high you fly. He asked the boy. He said 3,000 feet, up to 3,000 feet I can go. Because yesterday he had fallen down. Baba said, not 3,000 feet. After he took off, Baba called me and said, you tell them not to go above 1,000 feet. And by that time he had taken off, but they had contact. This flyer had contact with the coach who was on the ground. They could talk to each other, radio control. And I went to the coach and said, sir, Baba has said, no, today these are not working. The boy went up to 3,000 feet and Swami was looking at me little angrily. And I said, Swami, they are not able to contact him, he has already taken off. And the expertise of the flyer there is not taking off, landing. If you put a handkerchief, his feet should land on the handkerchief. They had told him land right in front of Baba. He came right in front of Baba, he landed. And somebody gave him a rose. And he ran to give the rose to Swami. Swami asked him a question in Hindi. Because Swami was so fond of this boy. He's a Hindi boy. Tumko dar nahi laga? This was the word. Were you not afraid? You went up 3,000 feet. Pat came the answer. Aap hai na Swami, he said. Are you not there? First time I saw Baba in tears. He was literally in tears of joy. And later on when we were returning, Baba told me, this is the essence of education. Whether you teach them anything else, I don't care. Teach them this kind of faith in God, love for God, devotion to God, and they will succeed in life. That is the basis of everything that happens in Sai institutions, whether it is there or here. It is the same thing. And later on, and the show came off very well on the 11th of January. Both the boys, they took off from the airport and they went behind the Western Hills, came behind the administrative block hill, and they appeared from there. Both of them came and landed very nicely. And you should have seen Baba actually. Baba, like a very proud father, he called them after they landed, introduced to every VIP on the stage, gave them special cups. But the story does not end there. Next year, Vivek Pahwa and another boy were trained. And everything went on well. But on the 11th of January, this is next year, 94, the boys appeared in the horizon, sky above the administration. Both of them appeared. Then we were sure that they are going to land. But suddenly one boy went down and disappeared. And we were all very nervous. It's a very, very tricky and dangerous thing, suppose. But within a few minutes, he also came up. Both of them landed. We heaved a sigh of relief. And Baba again gave them cups. Then Baba asked this Vivek Pahwa, how did you come up again? Then he told us the story. The paramotor engine stopped mid-air. Stopped. See, there is no way you can start it again. You are in the air. It requires, you now have to put on a switch and then only it can start. Then how did you come up? Swami's grace, it restarted. The same Vivek Pahwa who had said previous year, Aap Haina Swami, Swami was there in the sky. Swami restarted the motor. And then Baba told the whole story, what happened in the mid-air. He told all of us the story. Therefore, you have faith. God is always with you. He will always protect you. And He will give you everything. That is why the Bhagavad Gita concludes, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurtaraha. Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutihi Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. One is your faith, strong faith in God brings you God's grace. But that is not enough. You have to work hard also, train well also, and then definitely victory is yours. Triumph is yours. You will be successful. That is the basic essence of all sports and cultural meets. It's a great opportunity for all boys and girls to develop that kind of strong faith, whether I'm in the sky or in waters, on the land, on the mountain, anywhere, God is there. Anywhere Swami is there. If you have that faith and continue to consistently cultivate that faith, I tell you, you will be more successful. With these words, I conclude and pray to Swami for his benedictory discourse. Thank you very much. Sai Ram to you.
Bhagavan Shri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, in Vibhuti Yoga says, Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam srimad urjitameva va tattadeva avagachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhavam. Which means, whatever you see in this world, yad yad, whatever, vibhuti mat, which is full of glory, sattvam, purity, srimat is prosperity, urjitameva, effulgent, illumined, tattad eva vagachatvam, all of that know to be mama tejo amsha sambhavam, possible due to just a fraction of my power. Anything that you look around in the world, which is beautiful, which is glorious, which is effulgent, which is full of prosperity and fame, all that is a fraction of my glory that you are witnessing. Otherwise, my glory is much more than all this, says Sri Krishna. And this shloka stays with me because whenever I see something unique, something wonderful, something nice, it reminds me of God. This couldn't have been possible without God's presence. A beautiful flower. Everybody knows my story of the dahlia of Kodaikanal. The beauty, the perfection, the symmetry, colors, it's simply God. It cannot be anything else. No human can ever conceive the idea of such a flower. So also I see somebody sing with lost, who has lost oneself in that singing, and then somehow that singing touches the soul, howsoever simple the song is. It reminds me of the presence of God in that place, in that person. Anything that is beautiful, anything that is perfection, anything that is glorious, everything is a fraction of that God's presence in every one of us. How easy it is to experience God, you tell me now. You're walking, you hear a beautiful bird sing in the morning. The melody is unparalleled. No human can ever imitate that. No one can conceive that sound. And you experience the presence of God, that how God is singing through that bird, little bird. You walk forward, and there is a beautiful flower that has just bloomed in bright, effulgent colors. And the perfection in that flower you see, you stand for a minute, observe that, and then you experience the presence of God. Somebody has cooked something. It has been cooked so well. The taste of it, the texture of it, the smell, the fragrance, everything is so perfect. It's just the right way of doing it. You experience the presence of God. In anything and everything, wherever there is beauty, there is glory, there is this uniqueness, you have God present there in the fraction of His total power. So look at the stars and the skies and the sun and the moon. So glorious, but yet all this is just a fraction of God's glory, is what Krishna says. And whenever I see our children do well in anything, I see the spark of divinity expressing itself through that person. It could be a basketball match, it could be volleyball, it could be cricket, it could be any sport, it could be dance, music. Anything where they have excelled themselves. That shows God has been shining in them at that moment. So I am very, very happy that when I see anyone do anything that is unique and beautiful and superlative, because I know this is God expressing Himself or herself, whichever way you put it, in that person at that moment. That moment, that person is being God. And that is what I was observing. When I saw the boys playing the basketball, I think this was the finest basketball match I have seen in the last 7-8 years since I've been watching boys play. This was one of the best matches. Both the teams were equals, and that was such a clean match, no rough playing. And as he said, even that kind of kindness that somebody fell down, it is my own team, though not my teammate, but my own brother, you lend a helping hand without thinking that I have to chase the ball. Or when you make a foul, you accept, I made a foul, the ball goes to them, even if the referee had missed it. In every little thing, you are running with the ball, but you realize it is not for you to do the basket because it is beyond you. And you find another teammate, pass on the ball to him, all the efforts of bringing it from the other side to here is yours, but finally the glory goes to your teammate. And you are happy with it. In every of these moments, I felt the presence of divinity, because at that moment, something greater than just oneself was happening on the basketball court. So where can you meet God? Where can you experience God? Not necessarily in the Himalayas. Not necessarily in the temples and churches and mosques and gurudwaras. Not necessarily in caves and in your meditation. You can experience God when some people are playing basketball well. Because when a good game is played, it is God expressing, enjoying, exhilarating at the very game. This is how I felt. Of course, volleyball requires a little more of God. But basketball was superlative. Each one of them played so well. So I was very thrilled, because I felt that energy is God, which is pushing them to do that, what they're doing, and going all the way and putting that basket. Everything is God's energy at play. The whole universe is God's energy at play, isn't it? Shakti. Prano hi esha sarva bhutair vibhati, says our Upanishad. Everything, all this effulgence is prana. Vijana vidwan bhavati nativadi, says. A wise person sees the presence of that prana in everything, in the flower, in the bird, in the bees, in the people around, in the basketball or volleyball match. in singing, in walking, in talking, in everything. The presence is the prana, the power of life that animates it. That itself is God, is what our scriptures are saying. On top of that, when it passes through a pure instrument, it comes out in its fullest glory. Like from a clean, transparent glass, sunlight comes in unfiltered, it comes completely pure and effulgent. Whereas a stained glass, a dirty glass does affect the quality of the sunlight or the light that comes in. Likewise, when an instrument is pure, that same power of God which is there in all of us, nobody is an exception, that expresses itself in its fullness. Vibhuti mat sattvam srimat urjitameva. That happens in that purest of the instruments, who at that moment have forgotten their individuality and they're completely surrendered to that divinity. I mean, in a basketball match, the one who is playing is not playing for his personal glory. He is not playing for the team's glory. He is playing for the glory of the game. And of course, the goal that I am watching, and I must be pleased with the game. But when you play a game for the game's sake, this is what I was telling even the other day. Do it for the doing sake. Without any other thought in your mind, you will definitely attain perfection. Karmanaiva hi sansiddhim asthita janakadayaha, it is said. Janaka and the kings like that who had no doership, no individuality, they attained perfection through action. Because loka sangraha mevapi. Because they were working for the good of all, not for their personal sake. For the sake of doing what Janaka, the king, was supposed to do for his people. Sampashyan kartumarhasi. They did it with their goal, their eye on the betterment of all, not for their sake. So you play the basketball game not for your personal glory. I will only take the ball all the way. I will only put the basket. I will get the points and I will become the man of the series, match, whatever. None of that. Nor it is about my team should win, cup should come to me and things like that. It was simply play a very good game because Swami is watching and I'm sure he will be pleased with the game. That's all was there on the mind of people. There was no competition out there. That pleased. Suppose there was a competition, there was a rough playing, somebody hurt somebody, or somebody played selfishly, did not pass the ball. I don't think it would have pleased anybody, including me. But that satisfaction that you have given your very best at that moment when it was given to you, that is perfection, that is God, that is glory. So that is what I was watching. I look out for these signs of you expressing God in those little moments when you are letting go of all your ego, individuality, your personality, your doership, and just letting God flow through you. And I have seen what baskets these were, from such distance with such suave perfection. I haven't seen this before because I was surprised. Generally, I don't want to go and see a boring match, I would do some work in those 20 minutes. That's how I think always. If I'm spending a minute, it should be worth it. Of course, children are there, so encouraging them, I'll go. But if they do a good job, nothing like it. I enjoy it. I was in New York. We went to a show. Broadway is a very famous theater show there in New York, and everybody goes there. And whenever I go there, somehow our hosts, they are very kind to organize some ticket, get me a place to see some nice show. And I watched some of the finest shows on Broadway. And I bring ideas back thinking how can we improve our things based on the perfection that those people display is out of the world. Of course, they're not doing it for God, so they don't really fully understand that at that moment God only was working through them, but they just didn't know it. It's like you're sitting next to a celebrity, you just don't know who it is, so you don't realize, you just keep sitting. Somebody who knows it will jump at it like that. So they may not know, but they are expressing God at that moment. So one show was there on Michael Jackson. How many of you know Michael Jackson? Everybody knows. That's very good. Of course, he's superhuman in that way. He's unique. Like G.R. Vishwanath is unique, Sunil Gavaskar is unique. They are masters of their own kinds, right? So Michael Jackson is a master of his own pop and whatever the thing. He was born in a family that was struggling to make the two ends meet. And they were typical African American people who were very good at music, dance. It is there in their genes. All these Africans are like that. It's natural to them. So he and his brothers and his father were touring, singing, dancing. He was the younger one. They were older brothers, but he was the finest amongst them. He was shining, he was standing out. After some time, it so happened that he got bored of just doing shows for the sake of getting applauses or for the sake of getting a little money to keep the kitchen fire going. He was frustrated. He wanted to do something original, something new, something different. He was not willing to follow the same routine just to survive. No, this is what audience likes, just stick to that and get your money and go home. He was different, and people noticed that this boy was different. And he wanted to, trailblaze and whatever, he do his own thing. But poor family, pressure of the father, pleadings of the mother, he had to bear it all. So he had a difficult childhood because of his father's constant nagging. Anyways, at some point in time, he, called it a day with his family music troupe and said, I'll do my own thing. He took the plunge. Because there was something original waiting to happen within him, which could not wait any longer. It was the God that, ready to burst forth through him and express itself. And what did he do? He went about doing his own thing. He took his risks. I'm sure he would have starved many nights. He would have done all kinds of things. Finally, he became what he became. At that point in time in the show, of course, this is somebody else performing his role, but did a great job. There is a storytelling that the journalist is there and they're doing a video on him, and he's going to do his best show at that point. He's preparing for it. And that is the biggest risk also he's taking, for which sake he has even mortgaged his house, everything, because he wants to do something grand and amazing. And those who know, that was, I think, one of the last big tour that he did. He spent a lot of money, 3 plane loads of equipment and people who would travel with him around the world, 3 plane loads. And he put everything of his at stake to give it the best. He took that risk. Means if it had failed, he would have lost everything that he had built. But he took. So the journey asks, how do you get these ideas? Where does it come to you from? How did you decide that you will do this kind of a show? He wanted to jump out of the stage and bland back and things like that. And that mechanism itself would be very difficult. This is not today when we have so many different types of technology. This is one of the early days, 90s. You know what he did? He told the journalist, I have to feel it. And he expresses with his hands, I have to feel it. And unless I feel it, I can't do it. That moment he is waiting for God to happen through him when he's trying to feel what he is supposed to do. I must feel it, he says. Unless I feel it, I cannot do it. At that moment I realized that God had selected him, chosen him, picked him to express himself through his music, through his dance. And he brought a new style altogether, moonwalk and all that stuff. He did his own thing. And some of his songs, including Heal the World, he had the heart for everybody. He wanted to heal the world. He says it to the journalist. I want to give, if I do well, I'll give all the money to the charity which will help children around the world. That was his main theme. He came to India also at that point in time. But what I'm trying to say is that in that show I saw, and immediately those who were around me I told, the first thought that comes to me when I watched this is, Yad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad urjita mevava tattadeva vagachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhava. In Michael Jackson I saw Krishna. His glory, his grandeur, his effulgence, his divinity. Michael Jackson might not know it, but I could feel it, because without that he couldn't have been what he was. To swim against the tides, to do the thing that he's born to do, his swadharma, as I keep saying, his swadharma. He stuck to that at all risks, like Arjuna stuck to his swadharma, risking his all. That is what I saw. I was so inspired. I kept on, that day I spent 2 hours speaking to our people about this very idea of expressing God by being true to yourself, by being you, by not imitating, copying, or living somebody else's life, but having the courage to be you. If you're a basketball player, you're born to do that, just do that. He didn't think how much money I will earn, will people accept me, my family will kick me out, where will I live? His music was waiting to happen and he couldn't lie to himself. That's why greatness happened. Because that moment God, broke all barriers and came out effulgent through his personality. Few months forward, I was in Amsterdam, Netherlands. There is this museum of Van Gogh. How many of you knew Vincent van Gogh? How many know? Vincent Van Gogh, you don't know? Okay, he's one of the most famous painting is the Starry Night. I don't know if they have a picture, they can put it up. So this young boy was born in somewhere in Austria, there, and then he went to Paris, he went to London, he went to so many places to find his purpose. But he could not. Finally, his brother Theo tells him, why don't you try painting? And at age of 30, he starts painting. Because he had found he was trying to do everything, he was not succeeding, and he was not happy doing that. He tried to sell art, he tried to be a businessman, he tried to do a priest, he wanted to be a preacher, nothing worked for him. And he knew something is bugging him inside. He has not found his true reason why he was born. So finally he tried his hand in art. He went learned from a few people, but he wasn't satisfied. He wanted to find his style, his technique, like sportsmen have their own technique. Square cut. Like that, his technique of painting, which is unique to him. So he tried to copy, did realism, did all kinds of things, but he could not come to accept that this is him because he was trying to copy somebody. He saw a good artist, he tried to copy his technique. He saw another good artist, tried to copy his technique. So initial days he was just copying. But he was not happy because that was not original, that was not creative, that was imitation. Finally, he somehow stumbled upon his own thing after several years of, not many years, he died at 37 only. I think Michael Jackson died at 50 or something. He died at 37, or young lives. And he found finally his technique. He painted some of those finest paintings. Nobody knew, nobody cared. He died in absolute misery. In fact, he shot himself because he had no money to buy the next set of paints and a canvas. In that absolute misery and power, today's paintings are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. To just have one Van Gogh painting in your home is like, you need to be a big millionaire to do that. But of course, his family donated, who were his brother's son and grandson. They created this museum in Amsterdam with the government. Beautiful museum. So I went there. I went through 3 floors of gallery looking at what these paintings are all about. And when I was going through that, I could feel the presence of that divinity in that because it was trying to find its original self. That's why creation is divine. This is the starry night idea. Look at his interpretation of night sky and how he sees everything. You may say, this looks like some child's painting. No, you may think like that. Today we know this technique. But for the first time when he would have painted it, he painted it like this. This became world famous. And of course, he had many, many paintings. You can go and look up. But what I'm trying to say is that, and I had a picture with this Starry Night in the Museum of Modern Arts in New York. I went there only because I could get a picture with the Starry Night. This is displayed in New York. So I went, stood there next to the picture and got myself clicked because that was something that, was himself. First time he broke all those pressures of imitation, of survival, and did his own thing. And that is why he is a master. And now, of course, he died a miserable death. All that is different. But today, everything what he did is a standard for others. I felt presence of Krishna. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam. Something that is glorious, unique, beautiful, original. It is me. It is me expressing myself. Yeah, see, I'm standing. It's a small painting. But the original one. All I'm trying to say is that be original. Be you. That is when you are allowing God to express himself. When you try to impress people, when you try to imitate others, when you try to copy somebody for some petty, paltry gains of money, fame, position, authority, you are cheating yourself. You are lying to yourself. And you are doing disservice to the very God who has given you this life and purpose. And I can't imagine G.R. Vishwanath doing anything else. Kavita, can you imagine him doing anything else in life other than doing cricket? He wouldn't have, I'm sure even if he had done something, and he might have succeeded at that too, but he wouldn't be the happy person that he is. That's not him. Look at every one of them, all the great ones from Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, if I pick up the music side of it, to Bismillah Khan Sahab. I was going through his documentary. How even today his house in Banaras is so dilapidated. He died quite poor, despite being such a master that he was. But he did not trade his singing or his playing his Chennai for the sake of a little money and joined a government job and started earning and stopped playing Chennai. No, he didn't do that. He stuck to his, and that is why he is what he is. Every one of them, I have gone through a lot of these amazing lives because that is very inspirational. So also Madiyal Narayan, but look, 50 years of glory behind me. His father said, no, you are the Zamindar son. You should be doing, being a Zamindar landlord. You should continue a rich only son. You should continue our family business. We have enough. You don't have to work for anybody. You don't need money. We have enough money, enough lands, enough properties. He said, no, I want to be a teacher. Not even an engineer. For father pleaded, please be an engineer at least for my sake, for my nose sake. That I am the butt of this village, I am the richest man, and my son goes and becomes a government school teacher. What glory will be to the family and everybody. But he said, I cannot be any other way. And he enrolled himself, went to Madras, got himself trained in teaching, and then came back and joined the local school at Alike as a school teacher. Then he slowly became the principal of the school. He had everything that he wanted to do. Same story. Van Gogh's father was quite rich. He told, if you go into this painting, you are not getting a rupee out of the family inheritance. He walked away. Because it was not him. The same story with Michael Jackson. His family said, you have comfort of the family, dare not walk away. He walked away to do his thing. Madiyal Narayan, but walked away to do his thing. Friend Francis of Assisi walked away to do his thing. Buddha walked away to do his thing. And that is when glorious things happen in this world, because that God took over. Your individuality, your ego was gone. Your fears were gone. And you were allowing God to flow through you. That moment, you and God became one. God took over and did what he wanted to do through you, and that is how glorious things have happened in this world. Every single thing that is glorious, beautiful, unique is God only, whether it's music, sports, dance, art, construction, the carpet, the chandeliers, the electronics, the software, the carpentry, anything and everything that is beautiful and new and creative and original, it is God only. After that, others will copy. You get a first design of the chandelier, 100 companies will copy it after that. They are not expressing God. The first one who did that expresses God. That kind of people you should become. That is why so many options for you, as many as possible within our limitations, in the university, in the schools. Express God every day through you. Through every action, express God. That is the true way of glorifying God, by letting God do things through you, by not letting your ego come in the way. Your individuality come in the way. So many people, especially who come from poor families, they are always under the survival pressures. Their parents always keep telling them, when you finish studies, you will get a good job, then you will earn money, our problems will be solved, funds finally will come out of poverty, and then we will see some peace and some prosperity in life. We are all depending on you, and all the children are under pressure. The only goal is, when I somehow get my degree, I'll build a house for my family, I'll buy them this, I'll make their lives easy. I know these are pressures, I know, understand that. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಬಡವರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನನಗೆ ಗುರುತು. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಒಂದೇ ಕಾರಣ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಹೊಂದಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆಯವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ದುಡ್ಡಿರಬೇಕು, ದುಡ್ಡಿಂದ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹುಡುಗ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಆ ಹೆಸರು ಪಡಬೇಕು, ತಾಯಿ ತಂದೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅವ್ರ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ಸಿಂಗರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ, ಆ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಅವರು ಕೇಳೋದಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಭಾವ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಧರ್ಮ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ನೀವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಕಾರಣ ನೀವು ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ತೀರಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ. ಅಂಥ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಿಗಬಹುದು, ಒಂಥರ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸಿಗ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಾಯಿ ಸಿಗಬಹುದು, ಆದರೆ ನಿಜವಾದಂಥ ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಿಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ನಿಜವಾದಂಥ ಆತ್ಮತೃಪ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದು ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತು ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಯಾವುದಿಂದ ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಯಾವುದೊಂದು ತರ್ತೀವೋ ಅದು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಷ್ಟ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಯಾವ್ದು ನೀವು ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ತಗೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಸರಿ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಯಾರದೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾನಸ್ಥಾನ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ, ಸಂತೋಷ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ, ತೃಪ್ತಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಮುಖ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್, that it's not about just doing what you're born to do, but when you do what you're born to do, God takes over. Excellence happens. That's why Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence. Excellence happens when you do what you are born to do. A good singer, a good sportsman. And I saw some girls were playing. While there was girls from our physical education, and there was other girl from post-graduation. Her serve was so good. Every single serve, without fail. Savita. And I noticed that. While others were also doing good job, not that they were doing bad, but every time she served, I noticed that perfection in that, whatever style whatever she was doing. But she was doing it well, and I saw every time she was doing it well, and I saw the presence of God in that moment. She was doing it for the sake of doing, not for winning, losing, or showing off, or impressing anybody. I felt that way. But there was one boy who was battling with the net. That is what the people were saying. Every time he'll smash, he'll go into the net. Tall boy, he could easily smash it across in volleyball. Every time it is hammering the net and it's getting stuck. His services are getting stuck, his smashes are getting stuck, but nothing was happening. And I think this commentator picked a joke on him and started saying he and the net are having a battle or something like that. And then I looked around who was sitting next to me. I told, he's just getting too excited because I am watching. And the fellow next to me told, Vinod told, no, I think it's the wind conditions which are causing. I told, no, it is that feeling that I'm playing and he's watching. You get conscious of it, you mess it up. You are not conscious of it, you do it well. So I think somewhere he overcame that, then it started flowing and rolling, So that is what, when I comes in, Sai goes out. That is what he told me a long time ago. And this is the idea. When I comes in, God goes out. Because God doesn't find space. You are taken over everything. You have filled up the whole space with your ego. So these people are there. Maybe Michael Jackson had his own personality, eccentricities. I'm not debating that. But he was original. He was him. That is why he is a master. We call Sunil Gavaskar also a little master. He was himself. He couldn't have done anything else in life. Similarly, I say Van Gogh is a master because he did what he did. Gautam Buddha is a spiritual master because he did the same thing in the spiritual realm. Sathya Sai Baba, as I tell, at 14 he walked away and said, I am not your Satya and all. I have my own mission. I have my devotees waiting. I have my own purpose. And he wrote it down when he was 20. You know that. Akhila Manavaluku. And his brother said, don't you try this. People will be angry with you. They will trouble you. I'm afraid. I'm fearful for your life. He said, this is my purpose. This is the reason I am born. I have nothing else to do. I can't do anything else. That is why this glory. Narayan Bhatt did what he was born to do. Under pressure, he did not budge and say that, okay, I'll buckle to the pressure of the society and peers and I will take up zamindari or I'll take up engineering. And no, he stuck to his guns. These are the people who bring glory to God, nobody else. By singing Ashtottar Shatanamavali, you don't bring glory to God. Maybe you will benefit by doing that. God does not gain anything out of it. By doing yajna, homas, all kinds of japas, tapas, you don't bring glory to God. You bring glory to God when you allow God to express himself through you. By not being artificial, by not being dishonest. Be you, be original, be honest. That's when God will give you His grace. In the sense, everything that you will become divine and it will last forever. That is when eternity happens. That is when immortality happens. That is when foreverness happens. And these people are forever. And I went everywhere. I went to Vienna. I saw all that. I come to India. I see the temple architecture. I see whoever did that for the first time. It is God who took over and got it done. That is the idea. I felt like sharing it because I think what triggered this off, I don't know. But I think he said that time, that the purpose of all the education is, of course, devotion to God. But devotion to God truly translates into letting God do things through you and not allow your ego to interfere. And that moment, everything is glorious. 2 minutes, I'll close with one story of my own. I am very fond of cooking, some cooking, and I love cooking and I love eating my own food. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I'm very, very, not critical, but very apprehensive others cooking, because it has to be to my taste, liking, texture, color, all that stuff. So I'm quite a little finicky about it. And of course, my mother suffered with it, because every time I will find faults with everything. And but anyways, that is my job. So one day it so happened I was in school, and it was my birthday. So what I did, I cooked chole. Chole, the chickpeas. Yeah, so I had learnt it from mother, of course. Chole bhature, but no bhatura, only chole, the chickpeas, just as a snack. I made it and invited only 4 or 5 friends from my school. No party and other things. Just in the evening, saying let us all come together and we'll eat chole and then go. No, nothing we bought from outside. And we just made it. It was so good. Everybody said, it is so good. How did you make it? What was the ingredient? How much did you cook with that? I said, no, I just did what the routine things I've learned to do, and everybody enjoyed. Then they said, we'll go for a picnic next week. Can you bring chole for the picnic from your home? Now my tension started. Till then, I didn't care how it was cooked and who ate and what did they say. I did it for the joy of doing. But the moment I thought, my God, all these classmates are going to come and my chole is supposed to be good, so it better be good. And that morning from 7:30, I was struggling in the kitchen to cook chole. I ruined it actually. I overboiled it, it became a paste. There were no choles left in that. And then there was no time, 9 o'clock I must leave. On a bicycle, put the box of chole, and all are waiting by the river. So I went there, and all were expectant, because these 4 had told the rest of the 40, his choles are, world class. And I come, first of all it was hot, I put it in a container, went there, I had overboiled it because of my tension and pressure. And there, by the time I reached, that had become a total paste in the heat and the moisture of the thing. And then when I opened the lid and dug, there was a paste of chickpeas, no chole, no round choles. And everybody was disappointed. You were so good, that day you did so well. What happened today? It is not good. And I started thinking, what did I do? And then I realized I became conscious of my chole. I became conscious that I'm here making for somebody and impressing them. First time I was not. I was just doing my thing. So it came out well. And every time you become over-conscious of your things to impress somebody, to prove something to someone, you mess it up. That's when God withdraws and says, not this time, I don't want to take over. But every time you are real, you are honest, you are unexpectant of things, you do things unconditionally, things just flow. Because God takes over. How did all this mission grow? God took over. Every time God took over, it just grew and grew and grew. Every time mind took over, it faced obstacles. So that is the idea. Let go, let God. That is the idea of true devotion. Let God take over and do His thing. Let your idea interference not come. This is what is the ultimate goal of devotion. To let God flow through us. Bhagavan had written a beautiful poem. Take my hand and let it work for thee. Take my, so many hands. There's a prayer, I think it is in one book. If somebody can share that prayer. So he says, take my heart, take my hand, take my soul, take my everything, and let me be just an instrument of thee. That is the final line. Take my everything. Don't leave anything for me. Take my everything and let me be just an instrument of thee. That is the ultimate epitome of devotion. So if you can surrender all your senses, ideas, personality, and pressures of life to God and say, God, take over and do what you want to do with me, with my life, through me, and let your glory be there everywhere. That feeling you do, you'll play the best basketball, the best volleyball. Your service will be the best. Your smashes will be the most amazing ones. Your placements will be world class. Your speed, your agility, your style, your finish, your game will be top class. Why? Because that moment you just let go and let God take over. And that is where perfection happens. Otherwise, there is no perfection. That is when all the glory happens. Otherwise, there is no glory. There are millions of people living a lie, imitating somebody just to get ahead or just to get popular. They never find the truth of God. They never find the joy of God. They never find the perfection of God in their lives. And that is why great singers come, they don't impress me. Sometimes our children sing, that impresses me more because they are letting go and singing. Sometimes great artists or great personalities come, they give flowery speeches, it doesn't impress me. Sometimes a little child speaks from the heart, it impresses me. Because there's no ego in that, there is God. So allow God to flow through you, learn this as a part of your education, and if you achieve that, you have achieved everything. If you have not achieved that and you have done great things in this world, it won't matter, it doesn't mean anything at the end. So be yourself, be original, have no ego, allow God to flow through you, and you will attain great heights in terms of something unique, something original, something nice that you will contribute to the world, which will be your legacy, which will be your, what you call, signature on the minds of people, and it will remain there forever like those Van Goghs and, as I said, Michael Jacksons and things like that. So be like that. That is what I felt like sharing. I hope, I don't know how much it is making. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? 6th 7th 8th ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಚೋಲೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯಿತು. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದು ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಮಾತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಉಪಕರಣವಾಗಿ ಇರಿ. ಭಗವಂತನ ಕೆಲಸ ಭಗವಂತನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಕ. ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು, ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನನಗಿದು ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಭಾವನೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಭಗವಂತನ ಖುಷಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ತೃಪ್ತಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಸರಿ.
सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे, सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे, गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मणिकमंगलम, सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मणिकमंगलम, दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय, दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय, सर्वलोकहितरकाय सर्वमंगलम, सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मणिकमंगलम, वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय, वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय, ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमंगलम, सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मणिकमंगलम, सत्य साई प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय, सत्य साई प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय, नित्य शुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्यमंगलम, सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमंगलम, सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी सत्य साई हरे, भक्तजना संरक्षक, भक्तजना संरक्षक, पति महेश्वर. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, शशिवदना श्रीकरा, सर्वा प्राणपति, स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपति, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आश्रित कल्पलतिका, आपद्बान्धव. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, माता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयुनीरे, स्वामी मरियन्तयुनीरे, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ, नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ, नागेन्द्राशय. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेव, सद्गुरु साई महादेवा, मंगल आरती अंतु, मंगल आरती अंतु, मंगल गिरिधारी. ओम जय जगदीश हरे, नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति शांति शांति। जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री